Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to beautiful Chiang Mai. Yes, it is still smoky season, but I'd rather be here than a lot of other places. Well, today I'm going to take you to meet my friend Michael again, if you've been following the channel, and we're going to talk about what it will cost you if you decide to have yourself a little accident while here in Chiang Mai. Let's go take a look. All right, we are back with another episode, and if this guy looks familiar, it's because he is familiar. All the way back to Dinky's Barbecue first, right?
Yeah.
And from Dinky's, we did the video with you and your wife Grace.
Yes.
About expats in, and now here we are. It's so funny because I just did an episode on my blood work that I just had done, and so I'm like, why don't I continue this with what it's like to navigate the healthcare system here in, in Chiang Mai. And so you may also know Michael from pickleball. I will tell you that is not a pickleball injury. So I'm going to let you tell us the story about what happened.
I was being a boy, and I have a scooter. It's a stand-up scooter, an e-scooter. In the United States, it's similar to the bird scooters or the lime scooters that you might find in the cities. And I purchased one for just getting around the neighborhood, where it was maybe a little bit farther than I wanted to walk, but certainly not worth driving. So I was taking this on a short little trip to get a massage. I get a massage between pickleball games. And I was riding on the sidewalk. And
Can I pause you for 1 second? So this is not some little scooter that goes 5 miles per hour. How much power does this scooter have that you ride?
So this scooter has 2 electric motors, 3 gears. It has a range of 70 kilometers and it goes 70 kilometers an hour.
Okay, so you can move on that.
Yes.
Okay.
And anybody who remembers some of the previous videos, I'm a big guy, and I had to get a big scooter that would move all this mass. And that was actually the only scooter I could find that was rated for my weight.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And it was really fast and cool and had lights. So it was about a 5-kilometer little drive to the massage ladies who, try and work out all the knots in between pickleball games. And I was driving down the road, no problem. And then I saw the sidewalk. And the sidewalk was really wide, but it had the cuts, like for handicap access, which to me looked like jumps. So, forgetting that I'm not 12, I whee! And
Wow.
And as I fell, I put my right hand down, and I felt my pinky finger and my ring finger bend all the way back, but I didn't hear a pop, I didn't feel a snap, and I thought, well, it's probably okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it hurts, and it's all black and blue, and it's swollen, and the pinky looks like this, but, I'm probably good.
Wow.
And there's some road rash, nothing that some alcohol wipes wouldn't take care of. So I called my wife. Actually, I sent her a text message and said, I've crashed. Can you come get me? Because I made it to the massage parlor and the ladies kept saying, no, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital. And I'm thinking, no, it's fine.
So were you bleeding at the time, or?
I was bleeding. My knees were bleeding and my toe was bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
My hand, it was the palm of my hand, was all black and blue in this area on this hand.
If you haven't noticed by now, Mike really likes his sports massage, so he did not want to miss that.
Well, I mean, I was there.
Might as well, right?
I made it all the way there. So Grace came to get me, and she took me home, And I didn't think anything was broken, right? I was squeezing the fingers, said, oh, I don't feel anything. Nothing feels out of place. It's swollen. So I iced it, kept it elevated above my head, took a little nap, went and got a haircut. And Grace said, well, how are you feeling? I said, well, it hurts, but nothing, it's not manageable. And Grace said, well, does it feel broken? And I thought to myself, oh, actually, yes, it feels like every other time I've broken a bone.
Oh, wow.
So I said, okay, let's go. Let's go get it checked out.
Okay, just so for visual, when you say it felt broken, which digits are you talking about? Was it the hand itself?
So what ended up being broken, if I can do the spoiler now,
Oh yeah, fast forward.
was right at the base of the ring finger, the phalange. So it wasn't one of the metacarpals. So it's not a boxer's break. It's actually the finger itself. So right at the bottom, right here at the knuckle. Sorry, right here at the knuckle. And then the pinky is cracked right in here on this hand.
Okay, so to take us back just a little bit, did you go right to the hospital or you went to...
I did not. So
okay.
Grace took me home. So the accident happened about 9 a.m. Grace took me home. I had a haircut appointment at 2. So it was after that, after I got my haircut, we went to Boston Clinic.
Okay, yeah.
Which is what you just talked about in your video.
Right.
And it was my first time going to Boston Clinic. We had been there previously for Grace's allergies. And we really liked them. We're from Boston.
Ah,
So,
that's right. Yeah.
so we felt at home. And we thought, well, that's a good place to start. Now, we had contacted some of our Thai friends and asked for recommendations on where to go. And they all recommended Chiang Mai Ram Hospital. And I think
Yeah,
that's...
I've been there before. My wife has gotten services there, and it is absolutely amazing.
So we went to Boston Clinic, and they looked at it, and they said, you need x-rays. And they have a partnership with Bangkok Hospital's Chiang Mai branch.
Mm.
So they gave me a referral to Bangkok Hospital. So we went straight from Boston Clinic to Bangkok Hospital. It's 10-15 minutes. Walked into the hospital. So I had a referral form.
Mm-hmm.
So just had to go to registration, gave them the form. They, just like in the US, they gave me the standard paperwork to fill out, name, date of birth, address, all of that stuff. They asked me if I had insurance. I said yes. They asked me if I had Thai insurance or international insurance. And I have both. But I chose to go with my international insurance coverage because my Thai insurance policy has a 1,500 baht daily limit and only to see one doctor a day.
Mm.
And I also have an addendum to my Thai health insurance that limits the amount of coverage they will provide because of my weight.
I see.
So I said I would use my international health coverage, which is Cigna Global. And they said, okay. They said, so what has to happen is I have to pay cash or scan, transfer from my Thai bank account,
Right.
credit card, whatever, at the time of treatment, and then claim it back from Cigna Global, which is the process that we're used to. We've been doing it this way since we left the United States in 2018.
Mm.
So that was all pretty standard. So they took me to imaging, to radiology. I had 2 x-rays taken of the hand.
Okay, so let me pause you right
Sure.
there for a second. So while he gets ready to tell you about that, if you are from a Western country, I want you to kind of go through this in your head. What kind of prices are you looking at as you get these x-rays and you get these other things done that he's about to talk about?
So I had 2 x-rays done. And I have here the bill, and this is in baht. I guess I should start off with the cost for it to see the doctor at Boston Health Clinic. So that is in baht, 650 baht, which is $20?
Probably right around that.
Right around $20.
Yeah.
And that's no insurance. That's not my copay. That's the full pay price.
Wow.
To speak to a Western-trained, English-speaking Thai doctor.
And this was a specialist, right?
This was just at Boston Clinic, was just the general practitioner.
Initial consultation.
The initial, yes. At Bangkok Hospital, the 2 x-rays cost 461 baht.
Wow.
So under $15, that is the full pay amount. That's not a copay amount. So I went in and I had the x-rays taken, and they won't give you the results until you pay.
Okay.
So I had to go to the cashier's office, and I had a bill that had a barcode at the top. And when I got to the cashier, when you walk in, you scan your barcode, and your number, there's a number at the top of the bill, shows up on the screen. And when it's your turn, it will say number 274, go to window 2.
Very efficient. Yep.
Very automated. So I went to the cashier window. Cashier spoke English. We paid this in cash because we had actually exact change. So we paid that. And then I went back to the imaging department, and they gave me a CD that had the x-rays on it and the results. And the results were a broken, and it's not to get too gruesome, right? The break was offset. So it wasn't just a nice clean break, it was offset. And then there was, and that was at the base here, and they weren't sure if this was a break or just something in the x-ray, what they called a vascular groove, I think. So they sent me to see an orthopedist, which was same right around the corner. And the orthopedist looked at the x-rays, said, that's definitely broken. We need to reset it. If the reset takes, you'll be good. If the reset doesn't take, we need to do surgery.
Oh.
And that was for this break. This break was not through the bone, not all the way through. It was not offset. It was really not worried about that. And I said, okay. And the doctor said, I will have the orthopedist secretaries or admin work up a quote for you on how much it's going to cost to have the reset done. I said, okay. So it took me back out to the waiting area, sat down. They came back. They said it's going to cost, without taxes or any of the other incidentals, 7,000 baht to reset the bone. And I said, okay, I don't have much choice. So, took me into the treatment room, did a Novocaine injection, reset the bone, set the splint, and the bill at the end with all the incidentals.
And it's itemized as well, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's completely itemized. And the total price was 7,691 baht.
Wow.
And then I think there was one other little fee that they tacked on that in the end came out just over 8,000 baht.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole thing cost me less than 10,000 baht. So less than $300 out of pocket cost. 100% cost before being submitting to insurance and getting reimbursed. And then the checkout is kind of the same. I had to go back to the cashier, scan the barcode, pay, got the receipt, and right next to the cashier is the pharmacy, and they gave me painkillers, muscle relaxants, and something anti-inflammatories to control the swelling, and that was it.
Was that a separate payment? Was that included in the...
That was included.
Oh, wow.
That was included. I would say my entire experience in the hospital was less than 3 hours, and I have sat in the waiting room, in the emergency room, without talking to anybody in the United States for far more than 3 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of times, like for something like this, you would probably end up, if you're in the States, at an emergency room, and who knows how busy they would have been, and how long you would have been triaged, which that wouldn't have been one of those upfront,
Right.
place that you go to. So with that said, I'm still just blown away by this.
I can't tell. The hospital was spotless.
That's what my next question was going to be. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, if you go on some of the Facebook groups here for expats in Chiang Mai, I know a lot of expats complain about the cost of Bangkok Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely on the higher end of the available / private healthcare options for you in Chiang Mai. And I understand it's all relative. When you're comparing that price to a public subsidized hospital,
Right.
it is probably considerably more. And with the average Thai person only making $400 a day or so, maybe 500, 600 for a really good job.
I mean a baht. Okay.
Yeah, baht, sorry. Which is like, $20
Yeah.
a day, US. They certainly couldn't afford to pay an $8,000 medical bill out of pocket.
Right.
But when I think about my experiences in the United States and the costs in the United States, the copay that I would have paid in the United States
Yep.
would have been, far surpassed this entire bill. It would have been, this entire bill was, under $300. I imagine it probably would have been $500 best case scenario.
When I did some research,
US.
I think that's the lowest case. That right there, when I did some research on it, and you explained it to me the other day, I mean, you could have been around $1,500. And that was at the low end. That was at the low end of something like this. And not only that, I don't know what your experience has been in the United States. I have never had any kind of medical procedure that did not end up with a follow-up bill 2 weeks later in the mail or something like that, But I've had some experiences over here, just little stuff, but I never, what you see is what you pay for, and that's been it for me.
That's correct. And there is a follow-up. I need to have another round of x-rays next week to make sure that the bone that they set hasn't moved. And I imagine it's going to be in the same general area as that 461 baht original x-ray bill. And I also can't say enough positive things about the staff, the way that they treat patients, doctor's bedside manner. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Everywhere I went, I was escorted. At every step of the way, they explained everything to me. They wanted to make sure that I was comfortable. The intake process, and they did do blood pressure as part of intake. They actually came to me where I was seated in the waiting room with a mobile cart to take my blood pressure. It was just top-notch, first-class service.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. And to you out there watching right now, tell us, if you've had some experience in the States, as far as even a similar injury or any kind of surgery, what would that have cost you where you live? I know that may vary from Boston down to Florida, how much you would pay for something.
What would this have cost me in the United States with my copay?
Yeah.
Because if I thought it was $500, you thought $1,500, I'm pretty out of touch. So yeah. I'm curious to read in the comments exactly how much this would have cost, how much money I saved by being foolish in Thailand instead of the United States.
And you know what? Please let us know if you experienced, if you had any kind of healthcare over here in Thailand. Let us know your story. I would love to hear from it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to interview Michael and talk to him because the fear of healthcare really scares people when it comes to moving over here. A lot of people still think that you're moving to some third world country that it's going to be like MASH, where they're doing, you're in a tent getting medical care, but that is not the case, folks. It is great medical care over here. And you can come over here and you can break something without it breaking the bank. That's what I wanted to show you as well. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time to tell your story. I hope the medicine works.
Thank you, sir.
I hope that within a month I see you back on the pickleball court.
I hope so.
All right, take care. We'll see you in the next video, folks. Thanks.